Mail.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 155 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. I am one of your two regular hosts, Brett, and joining me this week is our other regular host, EvilJeff. Hi, Evil.
Oh, it's so good to be back, Brett.
It's been so long.
I love how you're acting like there's all these other hosts.
And this time, the rotation of the six... Listen, I'm discombobulated because this episode is going to drop after Election Day. We're recording it before Election Day, so we don't know what kind of a world this show will be broadcast through.
Well, there's three worlds. There's a world of it's either going to be really happy, really sad, or limbo.
Yeah. At this point, I'll take limbo.
Yeah, right now
Limbo will lead to something bad. Limbo will lead to hell.
It does. It is kind of crazy that it's this close. And my boyfriend's birthday is on the election day, so I also have to celebrate his birthday at the same time, biting my nails the whole time.
Oh my God! Happy birthday! Shh.
Shh. Did he win Pennsylvania?
My prediction is it's not going to be close.
The fact that almost 100 million people have voted before Election Day does not bode well. It just doesn't bode well. Yeah. He tried it.
We're done.
Yeah. But they're trying
Hopefully.
now. They're trying to kick out 100,000 ballots in Texas. In a Democratic county.
Houston's county. Yeah, Harris County.
Anyway...
Listen, there's a lot of ambiguity out there.
I'd rather have the ambiguity of what's the latest twist of a comic that's coming out. That's the ambiguity I want. Not knowing who the villain is.
I'm trying to get us to the ambiguity of these people who are being cast in MCU properties.
Uh-oh.
Are they? So, we heard Tatiana Maslany is cast as She-Hulk, and then she was like, it's Vicious Lie.
No, it's all a vicious lie. Well, I'm sure.
And we were like, objection, and she said, overruled.
But who's the next one?
Now we don't know whether or not Moon Knight is Oscar Isaac, as reported. Oscar Isaac of Apocalypse fame is reportedly playing Moon Knight, but we don't know. I think he also denied it.
Did he officially deny it?
I'm not sure. He hasn't confirmed it. I know that.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, why? Why are you doing this? Why? Why are you doing this to me? All I know
if the election...
But Oscar Isaac, I don't like him as Moon Knight.
No, I wanted someone else.
Because Moon Knight is too covered. Oscar Isaac needs to be someone topless.
Yeah, it's like the Ryan Reynolds issue.
Yes.
The Ryan Reynolds problem. The James Marsden problem.
The Ryan Reynolds conundrum.
I want to see that face, that pretty face. I wanted Oliver Jackson Cohen from the Haunting shows.
That would be great.
But we're not getting him, it seems.
Yeah.
Oh, EvilJeff, I'm looking at it right now. I'm sorry. Texas Supreme Court denies petition seeking to toss out almost 127,000 Harris County votes, by the way.
Thank God.
Thank God. Back to Moon Knight. Evidently, it's Oscar Isaac. We don't know.
He's so hot.
He was Apocalypse.
He wasn't hot as Apocalypse.
Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
He is so hot. Did you see when him and Marissa Tomei did, I think it was a Tennessee Williams play on Zoom for admission?
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof or something?
Something. And there was like a playful, sexy foreplay scene. And it called for Oscar Isaac's character to slap the ass of Marissa Tomei's character.
Did he slap his own ass?
He slapped his own hand, but as if it was an ass, and the face he made is
you jerked off.
Still something I think about. Yeah, It's the hottest thing. The gif of it is like,
I'll have to look that up. He has one of those things, like his eyes, like if he gave me a stare and then was like, murder your family, I'd be like, okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Well, he's got like those sleepy hot eyes.
Yes, I'm a sucker
eyelids
for
half
those.
closed.
I'm a sucker. And I will say,
me too.
My first boyfriend had those puppy dog sleepy eyes and like circles underneath, and it was mostly because he was on drugs. But I thought it was super sexy. Ooh. Anyway.
I have this really hot friend who wears glasses, but when he takes them off, you see like how sleepy hot his eyes are, and you're like, ooh, goddamn. Yeah.
Take your glasses off.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the Not Another Teen Movie, where they were making fun of She's All That, because it was just like, it was like, you need to make her hot. How can I? But she has a ponytail and glasses. It's impossible.
So, like, both of our hot topics are tied because if the election does not turn out the way we want, I won't even say his name. If Joe Biden doesn't win the election, I'm not saying the other guy's name, we're not going to have a fucking MCU.
Yeah, we're going to be busy.
Like, we're not. Because we're not going to have movies.
We're going to have the world falling apart.
We're going to have a plague.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
We're going to have an eternal plague.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, MCU. What you gonna do?
That's what they should be doing. The Democrats should be like, hey, do you want another Avengers movie?
Do you want the MCU? Right.
Anyway, I can't even talk about the real world anymore. I would rather immerse myself into the X universe. What do you say?
Let's go to Krakoa and check in with those X-Men. Hit it.
I want your X.
Let's get Stasis. Stasis.
I know.
What a dumb name.
It is not exactly this is the climax. Like, this is the tension builder. It's about to happen. Stasis.
I mean, they might as well called it like middling. Like, what is like? It's it's
like
so stupid.
I'm trying to think of what are like movies, sequels, like what are like things that have a colon and then after the colon is like the stupidest word. John Wick 3 comes to mind.
Stasis.
John Wick 3, Parabellum. Just call it John Wick 3.
Yeah, Parabellum.
What am I looking at Parabellum for?
I know. What is Parabellum? What is Parabellum?
I have no idea. I don't even know. Stasis. It sounds like Stacy.
Yeah.
X of Swords, Stacy.
Oh my God! If Stacy X showed up as like a big reveal.
Stacy 10 of Swords. Maybe she was Stacy 10 the whole time.
Oh Jesus Christ!
All right, let's talk about this issue. This is the halfway point of the giant 10 of Swords crossover happening throughout the X-Men books. Okay.
Yes. And
what did you think overall?
It felt almost like a handbook rather than an issue.
Right, that's why I loved it.
I thought it was fun too. But it wasn't like, oh my God, there was this amazing scene. You know what I mean?
Right, that's why we didn't open our show with one, because there wasn't a scene that really spoke to us, you know?
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing is, but we'll get it, was the end scene with Apocalypse.
Yeah,
there's a reveal. I will say, I think we called out on the show that reveal. I think either you or I think you guessed it. I think it was pretty obvious. Yeah. So, so this is the one thing that one thing I don't understand.
One thing
is why is no one bringing up the fact that there's only 9 Krakoans and then there's 10?
Right. Well, because there's 10 swords, I guess. But listen. Somebody on Twitter added us, a listener, one of our 2 listeners added us on Twitter and put forth a pretty powerful theory.
Oh, yeah.
And I have my own theory too, which we'll bring up later. But this listener's theory is that there are 9 to give room to the inevitable Iska the Unbeatable changing sides and joining the X-Men.
Oh, so she's actually
Iska
not,
will be the 10th.
So she's not on a side. She's going to be on the side that
Well,
wins.
just like she did back in the day, she's going to switch to the side that is destined to win.
But that's the other thing. It still seems like they're going to be... So is it still just one huge battle? Or is it like you versus
no, I think it's
you versus you?
Yeah, I think it's you versus you versus you, I think.
So, but then how does that work then with that? It's confusing.
I don't know. I didn't write this.
I mean, granted, they're going to explain it, so I don't know why I'm getting my panties up in a bunch.
It was our listener, Matthew, at Roland00. Rest. I won't say rest in case he doesn't want us to say, but can I do that? Can I just drop somebody's Twitter?
Sure.
Like that?
I don't give a shit. Do it. Yeah, what do you
think? What
do you think all of our listeners are going to start harassing him?
Both of them. Well, thank you so much for that theory. I love it. I don't know, maybe. So I don't know if it's one big battle. It feels like it's okay. Now this is Magic versus Pog Your Pog. Go.
Fight. Mortality. Fatality.
So you said the most interesting thing about this issue happened at the end. I put forth that the most interesting thing happened in the beginning.
Oh, okay. I will say that is kind of hot. Where we get to finally see all of the worlds. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, all the kingdoms of the fiefdoms of Otherworld. After seeing their data pages throughout this crossover event, we now cut to each one of these fiefdoms.
Yes.
And each one, I gotta say, I'd love to hang out there. Each one, every one. Even the foul fiefdoms.
Okay, let's just talk about real quick. We got the Crooked Market.
With Jim Jaspers.
Looking like an accountant.
With his green visor, you gotta love it. So this is like a big market, and with a very Ebenezer Scrooge of Jim Jaspers to be sitting at this giant desk, going over the books.
Then we have the Kingdom of Sevalith, which is like, these are the vampires, right?
Yes. The Obscura and the Uxalama. Yep.
Then we have the Infuri, which is all the Furies.
Yep. Giant fort. Yep.
And then we have Upside Down. I love that it's upside down.
The
Floating Kingdom of Roma.
And she's got a big orgy. She's coming out of a robe.
I know.
Granted, they're upside down. And then on the flip side,
we have Merlin's awful world.
Merlin's awful. He's got a bunch of fairies chained up. He's got this cute humanoid being with a pig head in the
rack. Is that
not
what it's
the
called?
rack.
What's it called?
No, it's not the gallows. Oh God. What are those things? The stacks? Anyway, the bridle? What the fuck is that thing?
It's the one where your head and your arms are through it.
Come on, listeners. It's the one where, like, you have one head in both hands through this, like, thing. Driving me nuts. Anyway.
I just had to look it up for an episode of I had to put one of the drag queens in one. But I've already forgotten what it's called.
Oh, my God. You just did research on this? And
yes,
you don't know?
And I don't remember. It was a few weeks ago. I can't remember anything longer than a week. Any new information? Like, I still remember, like, every single Madonna album, every single track, but I don't remember any new information that has come. Lasts about a week in my brain.
Yeah, I have an excellent memory. All right, let's start the show. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode...
Anyway, Merlin's world, it's just like orgy versus horrible torture world.
Yeah. It's like pain for pleasure versus pain
and
for pain.
And we don't see the world, but we see the people, the hive people, which are like the queen bug people that are now taken over by
that parasite
Borg type thing.
So they've all assembled at Saturnine's at the Citadel.
Yeah.
Because they have to vote about stuff.
Yeah, and we also see the new people, the Mercator people.
Yes, the Mercator people.
And they just don't speak.
Yeah, they're very scary. We also see Sheriff Gia Whitechapel of Blightspoke. Gotta say, in love with them immediately.
Yeah, they look fun.
Her crew, they look awesome.
And then we got
very Excalibur.
We got Jamie Braddock still in the Sinister cape.
Love him.
And basically, they're doing like just business, like government.
They're all here to watch.
Yeah, they're there to watch. But then they're also voting yay or nay of whether they can travel to each other's
Yes.
Kingdoms, and it was voted
Yeah.
down that they couldn't. And Merlin seems to have an issue with the Araco people that are there for a month. And he's like, fuck you. And then Saturnine is like trying to, bring everybody together with her.
She's like,
crystal
everybody
gavel.
calm down. Yeah.
And they're there to watch all the people to come. And that's where we see the 9 sword bearers showing up. And we see the 10 sword bearers from Morocco showing up.
Mm-hmm. And then we meet them.
And then we get to see kind of like where they all come from.
What are they all about? Hey, listen.
What's their deal?
Can I make a broad observation?
Yes.
Like, a lot of them, kind of like how Solemn, we met Solemn, he felt very like twisted mirror image of Wolverine. Maybe even like twisted mirror image of Dakin.
There's a few other twisted mirror images.
There's a few other twisted mirror images.
Yes.
And I think one of them is a clue to who a 10th sword bearer of Krakoa could be.
Okay. All right, well, let's go through who these people is.
Yes, let's.
All right, so...
So we meet Red Root.
Is that the
Red
first
Root,
one?
the forest. Yeah.
Yeah, Red Root. So this is the Doug Ramsey. This is the Cypher.
She's basically the Doug Ramsey of Araco. She's the one who talks to Araco, the female tree version, Krakoa, the mirror image.
Yeah, and we can see that the Araco and Krakoa, they're not down with any of this. They're like, we just want to fuck. We just want to get back together.
We literally
Can we
just want to
date?
get back together.
This is like, it's basically like Romeo and Juliet, but with islands. Like, can't you just like let us date?
I'm looking at Summoner. I wonder if Summoner, could we call Summoner like a twisted version of magic? Like, isn't Summoner's powers to call upon demons?
Well, it said, what did it say his power was? His power is completely invulnerability, and then he can summon demons. So it's very similar to magic, where she has a power that's separate from her magic powers. So I could go with that.
Sure.
Pog your Pog.
The Pog your Pog's dope. He's the only non-mutant on
so he's Captain Britain
of Araco. So he's Captain Britain, exactly. He also speaks in rhyme. We like him.
Yeah.
An entire world says you. If it be true, then Pog your Pog is charmed. Lead on, and Pog your Pog will see our enemies harmed. I think after Pog your Pog speaks, he always looks at the other sword bearers and goes,
what do you think? What do you think? I know what I mean.
And then we have Bay, the blood seducer.
Who is this? Who do you feel she goes to?
I don't really know, but I will say there is a connection, which we'll see later. But I do want to point out, I'm not saying this is a mirror image of Cypher, but isn't it interesting that when Summoner calls upon Bay, he says, "Great Bay, slayer of serpents of both sea and air," and here we go, speaker of the hidden words.
What does that mean?
That means Bay gonna fight Doug, and Doug's gonna be like, "Did you just say a hidden word?" And then they gonna be friends.
Oh, see, I thought Doug would fight the Root lady.
I think Doug is gonna fight Red Root. I think
Root.
Doug is gonna fight Bay because that's who I think Doug is drinking with on his tarot card later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somebody pointed that out to me on Twitter as well.
There's also a possibility that Doug and Red Root could connive together and purposely sabotage the whole thing, because they're actually probably more loyal to Krakoa and Araco themselves than the fight.
They're at least really good friends.
Yeah.
I think Red Root would make a good new mutant. Just saying. Now we have the White Sword.
And he's the one that ran off to fight, and then he's the one that seems like he's pissed that they made that deal with the Menth.
Yeah.
And now things are getting more clear because it was like he went off to fight a Menth and then they're like, we're here with a Menth. And I'm like, wait, are you with them or against them? And now it's like, oh, okay.
Now we know.
So it's not a unified thing. He's kind of like,
no,
fuck
they
y'all.
still have like a grudge.
Yeah.
This is the one. So this guy reminds me a lot of Magneto.
Okay.
In terms of like mad that you made a deal, which Magneto expressed.
Yeah.
Last-ish when about Apocalypse making the deal. This guy just feels very Magneto to me, and I wonder if Magneto
is it just the outfit? Is it the outfit?
Maybe it's just the outfit. It's just, but it's the vibe. It's the vibe. It's the way he carries himself.
Yeah. And then we got some Iska. Looking badass.
Just pouring out a scotch. Cheers. I'm in.
Yeah. Iska the Unbeaten.
I
love how everyone is like, can you do this? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to. And then she just fucking raises her guys like, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's fucking go.
She's like, I know I'm going to win, so I'm in no matter what it is.
And then we have Death.
Death, who also, much like Storm, when he says, when we made peace with the Horde, we promised to respect their holy places. So he said, when we killed this Horde, we promised to respect this place. And so Death just ups and takes the sword. Very disrespectful. Like, no respect. He got his sword by disrespecting the laws of the land he got the sword from. Just like Storm did.
Oh, okay.
And we know that Storm is fighting Death.
She is fighting Death.
She's on a cover, a Marauders cover,
Oh.
tangoing with Death. Yeah.
Who's going against Iska? Oh, Betsy. Betsy is. Okay. The one thing I find interesting is how come. So it's war and Death are the ones fighting.
Yeah,
so
but not
pestilence
and famine
are not. I find that very interesting of why all four are.
Yeah, interesting.
But whatever. And then we got the swords here, and this is where we get their mutant powers and stuff.
Yeah, on a data page.
So we have Bay the Blood Moon. Her power is the Doom Note. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Death's power is the Eyes of Death. Does that mean he can see if someone's going to die?
Does that mean if he looks at you, you die?
Yeah, it's either that or he can, or kind of like, remember when Mirage was a Valkyrie and she could see, like she would see a skull over someone when they were about to die?
Yeah.
Iska cannot lose. Annihilation, mutant power. Well, by the end we know.
Do we? What is Genesis's mutant power? Oh, she did those like green triangles out of her hand and wiped out.
Yeah, I think she has like regeneration type, like, I think hers is like regeneration birth. She can like control all living. I think she can like control all living. Maybe organic matter? I don't know.
Maybe.
Red Root Bodomancy. I guess that's similar to what's his name? Black Tom.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, like botomancy. But wasn't that what we saw Annihilation? Like, didn't Annihilation slaughter the demons of Amenth by, like, she conjured these green triangles around her hands, and didn't plants grow out of the ground?
Yeah.
And slaughter them? Is she like a Hope, where she can take on other people's powers? Maybe she took on Red Root's powers.
Maybe. And isn't the beginning, didn't Genesis go to visit Annihilation? So at some point then she... Or was the price that they... At what point did she take on... Well, I guess I'm just revealing now the twist at the end.
Yeah, I just revealed it too. Is that underneath the Annihilation mask, the current version of the god Annihilation is Genesis. So there's your answer. Why, like, are you on our side? Like, are the Amenth people and the Araco people enemies? Are they friends? What's going on?
They've fully joined forces.
Yeah.
But that's the interesting thing is when Annihilation, which is this helmet, that when that one regular Amenth soldier put it on, he basically died.
Yeah.
And Annihilation took over the body. But this we see, Genesis is powerful enough that she can just take it on and off.
Yeah.
And be fine. So I want to know who's really in charge.
Yeah.
And I also love that we see the X-Men arrive in the Citadel, and it's basically, it reminds me very much of like when they go to the moon to fight when Phoenix is on trial. I don't know why this reminded me.
Yeah.
And then they're like, go stay in the hotel and tomorrow you should
fight. Yeah! Ooh! Very much so.
And when they all go to the hotel, like, of course, I will say she's so similar. I just really need an Emma Frost Saturnine
Oh, me too.
scene where it's just like, nice white outfit. Oh, you're white? That's off-white, honey. Like, I just want them to, like, go off on each other.
I just want, like, Emma to see Saturnine approaching and just saying under her breath, is this bitch kidding me? I need that line.
I know. Anyway, although I think they would probably love each other. Like, after all, they'll be like, she's such a cunt, and Emma would be like, I like her. I like her style.
She's fabulous.
And so they all get these. So now I think we need to talk. As they all go to their rooms, they're each given a tarot card.
Like a precognitive tarot card.
Yes, yes. And so Betsy's is not looking good.
No.
I mean, is it just like, it
Swords.
sounds like Betsy's gonna die, and I'm really getting pissed off.
Telling you, that's how we're getting the Captain Britain Corps.
So if they kill her, they need to bring her back. You can't end Betsy. You can't have
They're going to
no
bring
Betsy.
back thousands of Betsy's.
They better. If they don't, I'm going to be very, very, very upset. Because Betsy is my favorite character of all time. So it's like, it'd be, ugh. And she's been killed off so many times. And there's been times where it's been years that she's been fucking dead.
Yeah.
I'll be so mad. So she's the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords. And it's just a bunch. All the swords are coming to. They're coming to kill her. Now I will say I read tarot cards, and in the deck that I read, the Nine of Swords is called Cruelty.
Oh.
So it is a very bad card. It's like torture.
Yep.
It's like torturing yourself.
Well, we'll have tarot interpret these cards later on.
Yes. Well, in general, just like throwing this out here, swords represents air, and air represents the brain and logic. So usually all the sword cards means what's going on inside your head. So usually the Nine of Swords is self-inflicting cruelty. Like, you're basically like, I'm nothing, I'm stupid. God, you're
Like
stupid,
self-sabotage.
Self-sabotaging. So
That's very Betsy.
Yes. She's all about taking it all on and then shitting on herself.
Yeah.
Literally. No, anyway. And then we have Doug. So who did you say Doug is drinking with?
Bay the blood moon.
How can you
See
tell
this
that's...
moon?
Oh, okay. I was going to say, but she doesn't have... How do you know that's her?
I'm just guessing.
Oh, okay.
She's a big lady.
Okay. We don't see what Gorgon's is, but whatever, you're gonna die.
It seems like he got the hidden card, like the blank one that Tarot
she kept flipping it over and it was just
refers
the back.
to. Yeah.
And I also love poor Tarot. Don't keep her in the loop about anything. I feel like she seems like she's so clear, like she has no idea that any of this is going on.
She's like in a room, like,
oh my god! And then everyone's like,
tarot cards
yeah,
again.
it's like, maybe you should let her in on something. Maybe she could be of more help.
She's like, I feel like something weird is happening outside. Oh well, let me try these cards again.
Of course, Saturnine would give Captain Britain one where he looks awesome.
Like heroic.
She's like
the Knight of Pentacles.
She's like, don't worry, baby. Don't worry, you'll be fine. And the Pentacles is all about money and body. So she's just like, and the Knight is,
the Knight
is like, you know, the king. It's just like, ooh, you're the king of body.
King of body.
And Magic is
Ileana looks like she's doing all right.
She's the Three of Wands, and she's just like, manifesting her power. She's just like, yeah, let's work it out. What is the Three of Wands in the deck that I read? It is Virtue. Interesting.
Oh.
And then Doug gets the Fool. But I will say what Tarot says about the Fool card is correct. The Fool basically is the beginning of a journey. So it's not like you're an idiot. It's more like you're just someone that hasn't learned anything yet. You're at the beginning of everything.
Yeah.
But I do love his, oh, come on.
Yeah.
And then there's Strength, which, here's this thing that's interesting, is depending on which deck you read in the tarot card, sometimes it's called Strength. But in my deck, it's not called Strength. It's called Lust. For real.
Oh.
It's called Lust. And then there's Summoner topping Wolverine in the picture.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess Wolverine and Summoner are going to be fighting.
Maybe.
And then here's Storm.
She got the death card.
She got the death card. Now this is what scares me again. About her maybe dying. And coming back completely new is the death card is about rebirth. I always say the death card is not a bad card because it means it's the end of something and the beginning of something new and amazing. And I'm scared that she's going to die and be reborn. Or is that just death because she's fighting death?
Maybe. And then Apocalypse looks at his card and he's like, no. And he crumples it up in his hand and immediately goes to see the manager, Saturnine.
Yeah. He's being a total Karen.
She's like, what? He's like, I don't like my tarot card. And she's like, follow me. And he's like, where are you taking me?
Actually, no, the best part, she doesn't say,
but
she doesn't say follow me. The person, like her little
the
assistant
fish.
is like,
the fish
you should go.
assistant.
She's doing that because she wants you to follow her.
She does that. I didn't know I was supposed to follow her for like 3 weeks into the job. And then finally I did. And I realized she keeps talking.
But his card is the Lovers.
The Lovers, and it's him in Genesis with the specter of death hovering over them. And then Saturnine's like, oh my god, who am I taking you to see? Oh, it's your friend Annihilation. Oh my god, Annihilation is taking her mask off.
And so
Genesis.
and that's probably who they're fighting each other.
It's Apocalypse's wife, who's much stronger than him.
And it's kind of like, it's also interesting where Apocalypse, you didn't realize Apocalypse was sent back because he was the weakest of all of them.
So they're all badasses, if that was the case.
I know, but then also the fact that, it also brings the fact that he's been wanting to cleanse the world and making it only the fittest of the fit, the best of the best. It's also like, oh, I have a small dick thing. Like, he's been doing it because he knows he's actually not the most powerful. He was the least powerful in his family, and this is his way of, like, feeling more powerful.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Page of Wands, Ileana's card. I'm looking at Tarot's interpretations. The Page is a person, a tricky one, clever, never stuck in one place, arrogant, but a good friend to have. Ileana's winning.
Page is, in certain cards they're called pages, and other cards they're called princesses. Mine, they're called princesses. They're ruled by the pentacles. All pages are pentacles. And then it's just like there's usually, in mine there's a prince, a princess, a queen, and a king. Okay. But sometimes it's a knight and a queen and a page and a prince. So it depends on like which you have, but they're kind of the same thing. But I like to see her as a princess.
I like Ileana as a princess.
She's a princess. But there it is. So next up, we're getting X-Men and Marauders.
Yeah.
2 Marauders in a row.
2 Marauders back to back. So there's going to be some heavy storm action.
Yeah, well, it's going to be her battle. So I have a feeling it's going to be the battle, and then the next one's going to be the aftermath of the battle, I guess, maybe.
God.
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
I would say it's the scariest thing coming, but there's an election the day before, so.
Yeah, exactly. Not only is our country about to possibly fall into an authoritarian state,
so is one of the best characters ever.
But they might kill Storm too. This couldn't get any worse. Especially since we read comics outside of X-Men, which are only getting better.
But before we do, there's one other thing I need to say.
Oh, yes.
Come on!
I thought I was going to be the one getting you with that. How the tides have turned.
It switches. It depends.
It switches.
That's what makes it so fun. For us. Maybe not the listeners.
It switches.
But for us at least. But let's face it. We're doing this for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get a comic. Hit it! You gotta get a comic if you wanna get ahead. Brett, is there any other Marvel things that you read?
I did. I read Strange Academy #4 by the effervescent Scotty Young and the elusive Humberto Ramos.
Yes. And I just want to say, they are bad caretakers.
What do you mean?
It seemed very, it seemed very irresponsible. In everything that was going on, I was like, if Child Protective Services came along.
Oh, somebody get these children under control.
Yeah,
my
like
God.
the children, not only are the children's powers out of control, but then it's like, hey, go play a game of tag where you go into other worlds you may be trapped in forever. Oh, here, help clean up this library. I'm not going to tell you not to open books, that demons could come out and murder you. Like, I feel that they're doing a very lackluster job of, warning these children of dangers.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes for great
things.
reading.
Yeah, it's the only way those kids will learn, #1. And #2, I think what they are setting up is them having to bring Stephen Strange to task. Like, this place is out of fucking control because you are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, you need to come in. And that's where the one interesting thing I just want to get to it right now is Strange has someone locked up. Hello?
He sure does.
Oh, okay. Do you remember, Brett?
No. What?
Do you remember that he had someone locked up?
So answer is still no. Who is it?
Okay, so when wait, what's the main girl's Emily? Is that her name? No.
Yeah, Emily Brightside.
So when she's playing, they're playing this game of doors the doors go to different dimensions and different worlds. And she meets this kitty cat.
Yes.
And the kitty cat's like, "Oh, you want to go back to Earth?" And she takes her to Strange's house rather than the academy,
the school, because the cat didn't know about the school.
Yeah.
The
But then there's a door, and then there's someone like, "Hello, I'm behind the door." Hello.
That's right.
And I'm like, "Who is that?" And then Strange is coming
that?
with the dog, and then they run and escape, but we never get to see who is that behind the door.
Yeah. Ooh, very exciting. Who do you think it is?
I don't know, but do you think it's a good guy or a bad guy? I mean, because Strange has him, you want to think it's a bad guy, but I have a feeling Emily's going to be like, I think she might think it's a good guy, and then she might start turning everyone against Strange, being like, I don't trust him.
It's someone very powerful, that's for sure. Yeah.
And then meanwhile, I think what's Dormammu's kid's name?
Doyle.
Doyle has a total crush on Emily, and I find it very, very sweet.
I love him. He just wants to be good.
And he just kind of wants to do everything she's doing, but she just pays. She's literally like, "You're a flaming head. I have no interest in you.
Right.
Like, how do we even kiss without me burning my lips off?"
Right.
And then meanwhile so half of them are playing the game, and the other half are in the library where Doyle accidentally opens a book and releases an evil demon, and the library is just being destroyed.
Another interesting thing that happens is with the character of Zoe, and a reveal of what her true form is. Jessie, her roommate
is
from
a
Limbo,
zombie.
She is a zombie. Zoe, the voodoo character, is very much the undead.
Yeah.
And wears a necklace so that she looks normal.
And I will say that the fairy character,
Shaylee,
I am 100% certain that she was written as Pixie.
Yeah.
And that they were like, you can't use Pixie. And I will say this, it should have been Pixie. There should be a mutant there. There should be a mutant there. And Pixie has sorcery powers. since she gave
Yes.
part of her soul and has that the dagger with her soul. Like, she should definitely be there. I think that would have been so much more interesting if that was
Yeah.
Pixie.
I wonder if you're right. I wonder if that was originally Pixie.
I mean, she literally is drawn exactly how Scotty Young drew Pixie when he was drawing the New Mutants, like the new X-Men. It's exactly, and she acts exactly the same as he.
And like,
as he
wouldn't
did.
Scotty Young want to use his own character?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So I find that very annoying, because what is Pixie doing in Krakoa now? I think we saw her once in Zombies versus X-Men, maybe, or something.
And we saw her with Franklin.
Yeah,
right? Wasn't she hanging out with
doing
Franklin?
nothing.
But that was in Fantastic Four.
Yeah, doing nothing. Give her the fucking. Let her fucking go study Strange Academy. Because there is a mutant that is not staying on Krakoa. Do you know who it is? A young mutant is not on Krakoa and is on a different team.
No. Who?
Dust. Dust is still with the champions.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if Dust can still hang with the champions, Pixie can fucking be on Strange Academy, you bitches.
Fuck.
Anyway,
it's great.
I
like
love
this
it.
book.
I really like it. I love Scotty Young.
What else did you read?
Well, a few weeks ago, you told me to read this new book because it was Image Comics. It's written by the guy who does
Something is killing the children.
Killing the Children, which I love. And you said the main character is a homosexual.
James Tinian.
He's a homosexual.
He is a homosexual. Yep.
And homosexual. And so I was like, that sounds great. And it's all about conspiracy theories. And it's called The Department of Truth. And I read the first issue, and a new issue came out, and I read that one as well, Brett.
What do you think of it?
Here's the deal. The problem is,
Oh my god.
I love the comic, but I'm someone where I then I need to suspend my disbelief, because I read into it and I'm finding so many problems with what they've laid out. And I have a feeling they could deal with it. Okay, so here, and it's also mostly, Brett, can you give just a brief overall description of what the show is, and like give the elevator pitch of it real quick before I go into my thing?
Absolutely. Cole is a gay married man who has
Works for the
repressed
FBI.
memories. Works for the FBI, has repressed memories of being the victim of satanic rituals when he was a kid, has come to realize those are all false memories. He is a bit of a conspiracy theorist, thusly.
Or just conspiracy theorist debunker.
Or debunker. He gets taken in by this group of elite conspiracy theorists who say the Earth is flat. They prove it to him by showing him a giant ice wall at the edge of the Earth. Then Cole, freaked out, is taken by the Department of Truth, who reveal to him the nature of reality, which is if enough people believe something, it will be true. And so these people are this Department of Truth, quote unquote, are trying to stop theories, conspiracy theories, beliefs, stories from becoming too popular, because they will reshape reality thusly. So we don't want things like the majority of people believing that the Earth is flat, because then the Earth will flatten.
So, in the second issue, they start expanding on this. We find out that Cole has repressed memories that he believes aren't true of a satanic cult eating babies, of like his teachers eating babies. I think they forced him to eat some of them too. Horrifying stuff. And this, as me and Brett are olds, we're olds. We remember in the 80s when it was heavy metal music, people were scared that heavy metal music was going to turn you into a Satanist. There was this weird fear of Satanism in the 80s that I never even thought about, how like, it just kind of like, because you know why it went away?
Why?
Because a new type of music became scarier to those people. Rap.
Yeah.
So it no longer was about Satanists. It was just it was just pure racism after that.
Yeah, and these are the same people that are now Pizzagate and QAnon folk. Like, that's the version we have today of these people.
Yes, but here's the thing that was kind of scary, is they're saying that because of this was happening, that these demons and Satanism and all this thing were actually coming true. And so Cole is now just like, all right, I just need to know personally was that what I witnessed,
Was that
real? And so they just kind of go down the path and find these other people that their job is to kind of watch for all of these things. And they find this guy in like a tinfoil hat, and he takes them to this like room which everything's connected by strings. And he takes them and it's like, okay, here's all the Satanist stuff. What is it called? Satanic Panic.
It's the Satanic Panic, yeah.
And he sees just recently, there's one girl had the exact same story that he did, and it's the exact same being. So it is kind of like, oh, this Satanic Panic has believed into existence this real kind of demonic, satanic demon.
Right.
And also, Lee Harvey Oswald is their boss. And they did say a thing where he's just like, well, is he the one that was shot by Jack Ruby?
Wasn't that interesting? Where he was like, so which Lee Harvey Oswald is it? Is it the one that killed Kennedy, the one that was a patsy, or the one that Ruby killed? Like, it was so cool.
But then also they were just like, and can you imagine if there were more children in the world, we would have to kill Santa Claus every year. So that gave me a very specific thing of like, there needs to be a certain number of believers for something to happen. And this is then my mind, this is how I go, Brett, my mind starts going in circles. What is the biggest conspiracy theory of them all, Brett? Religion.
Yeah, of course.
So
yes,
this
Jesus.
is and like ghosts, angels, all of that stuff. So now I'm just kind of like, if this was true, then there would be so much ample proof that religion is real.
Yeah, there would be photos of Jesus walking around on water.
Exactly. And does that mean then are they trying to stop religion from being real? Because if they were raised with that, wouldn't they be cool with it being real? So that was where then I started. That's where my brain was starting to break because I'm like, Jeff, you're overthinking all of this.
Well, it's interesting though. I think there's an inherent contradiction at the heart of this book, which makes your mind spin when you're reading it.
Yes.
It's like these are people about facts and truth, but in a book where reality bends at the will of the majority, is there such a thing as facts and truth? No.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why I like this book.
Or the thing that could be interesting is maybe in the past there was abundant proof of religion, but now there's so many atheists
like me,
that it all disappeared.
Yeah.
See, all of this, my thing is, the reason I like this comic is it's making me think. Like, it's making me like, oh my God, this is like, I'm just like, the wheels are spinning. There's like smoke coming out of my ears while I'm reading it, and that is what I want out of a comic.
And I love that it just seems also at a real simple level, like this feels very X-Files-y, and each case is going to be like a different kind of urban myth, you know?
Yeah.
And I look forward to that format. Like, we did Satanic Panic, what else are we going to do? Like, can I see a Santa Claus?
Can you imagine them all having to go and murder Santa Claus?
Oh, remember the Santa Claus and the Magicians?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved him.
And I just love that he's like, just coincidentally a gay man with a husband. I love how it was dropped in the first issue.
Our main character.
Where he's like, I'm married, I have a husband. And you're like, whoa, what?
And then in number 2, you meet his husband.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you could do better.
But I do feel we do kind of have a big bad, which is this woman in red.
With the X's over her eyes, but she can still see.
But she's kind of like death, I guess?
I don't know. She's in all of the horrible situations. Like, she's in the Satan ritual. She's on the plane that proved to Cole the earth is flat, or showed Cole the earth is flat. Yeah. This reminds me of Grant Morrison's Invisibles a lot, where there's like the outer church, the archons, these like evil supernatural beings that look real but are like something out of David Lynch.
Yeah, I really like it.
Me too. Speaking of a conspiracy theory, I'd like to talk about a book. Can I go into our See You Next Tuesday DC segment?
Yes, please.
Okay. Welcome to our segment. See you next Tuesday, DC. As you know, DC Comics come out on Tuesdays now. Jeff Johns and Derek Fabok's Three Jokers, number 3, came to an end.
Did it end with a bang, or did it end with a wah, wah, wah?
It ended with a chortle.
I did not read it, but I read what happened. There was an article being like, finally revealed who's the real Joker.
Oh, okay. So
I read that. So
what'd you read? What'd you hear?
From what it seems like actually there has always been one Joker, and that it was the comedian, and that he actually gave them, he stuck those other 2 people in the chemicals. Am I right?
That's right.
Okay.
They make you think that one of these 3 Jokers made the other 2, but they make you also think that the one that made the other 2 is likely the criminal, and then the reveal is it was the comedian.
But the criminal is the one who killed Martha, and he killed the parents, right?
Yes, correct. No. Joe Chill did. Joe Chill killed the parents.
Oh, but did Joe Chill get put in the chemicals in the comic?
No, Batman saved him. They were trying to turn Joe Chill into the ultimate Joker.
Okay, I just remember him being in the thing I was reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Batman saved him. He caught him from falling into the chemicals. And actually what happened is Joe Chill apologized and expressed deep remorse for killing Thomas and Martha Wayne right before he died.
Did he go, hey, I danced with the devil in the pale moonlight and I didn't like it?
And I got cancer. No, Bruce Wayne is there with Joe Chill when he passes away, and Joe Chill apologizes.
Wait, how does he die?
Cancer.
Oh, he literally just dies of cancer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Later. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so now there's only one Joker, and it's the comedian, and he was kind of the original. Here's where I'm at. Why did we do this? If this was a 3, it was such a big deal that I think it was Pandora revealed to Batman that there are 3 Jokers. Ooh, what a reveal. And then they address it with this 3-issue miniseries where they spend 2 of the issues killing off the other 2 Jokers and being like, no, I'm just the Joker. And
why
Batman
did I
reveals,
read this?
Batman also reveals, I did think this was kind of cool. So Gordon was like, so that's it? We're not going to know who the Joker is or what? The Joker's not going to be some big deal guy. And Bruce is like, what do we need to know the Joker's real name for? By the way, I know the Joker's real name. I've known the first time I met the Joker, a week later I figured out who he is. I know exactly who he is. It doesn't matter.
Do these Jokers know that Bruce Wayne is Batman?
Yeah, they do.
How come they don't reveal it?
I don't know. The whole thing, I'm like, who knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman and who doesn't? Because it seems like everybody in this book knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Everybody. Joe Chill is like, hey, Batman, I'm sorry for killing your parents. I'm like, he knows too.
But they're all just like, hey, there's a code. We're not going to tell. It's bullshit.
Why would I tell? You're mine. Then you won't be mine. I don't know. Some bullshit.
How many characters have secret identities in Marvel?
PDP.
It's not a lot. It's more of a DC thing, I feel.
It's an obsolete thing.
And for a while,
with
Spider-Man
the power
revealed
of your community behind you.
It does feel that Marvel does not rely on that secret identity thing. I think it's tired.
It is tired. It's more interesting when you have people helping you rather when they're in on it.
Yeah, plus for me, it's like, oh, you're a billionaire, and rather than saving the environment, you're going to just go fight pickpockets and muggers? Fuck you, Bruce Wayne.
He's like, the Wayne Foundation actually has done thousands. Fuck you, Bruce Wayne.
Did you ever see that Saturday Night Live where it's like Batman just keeps being more harsh to black criminals than white criminals? And they keep complaining about it to Bruce Wayne, and he's like, oh.
I'm sure he means well. Anyway, those were the comics.
Did you see anything?
I sure did.
Hit it.
Someone who'll watch superhero sci-fi stuff with me.
So this is our segment about TV and movies. And EvilJeff, I thought that we could do now that spooky season is over, and it sure did last the entire month of October in this household, what movies, what horror movies did you kind of check in with, see for the first time? Are there any movies from? We're doing a Halloween debrief.
We're gonna do a spooky fest.
Yeah, we couldn't party this year.
Yeah,
because of the pandemic.
so we just watched.
So we all watched
shitloads of
movies.
Scary things. We watched Blind Manor. We talked about that.
Talked about Bly.
I watched the new Witches.
Oh,
And
Roald
then
Dahl.
watched the old Witches in comparison. Guess
Anne
which one I
Hathaway
think
versus
is better.
Angelica Houston, the old one.
The old one is a million times better, and it's mainly Anne Hathaway is great in it. But then I was like, she's really funny, she's great. But then I watched Angelica Houston and was like, oh, this bitch is on another level. Like Anne Hathaway can't even come close. Like Angelica Houston is perfection as the witch, and I will say, using the puppet and live action mice, and the way they turned the kids into the mice. The whole movie, and they use practical effects throughout almost all of it, it is a million times scarier. The CGI de-scarifies everything. It makes it just seem like a cartoon. It's not scary. And the original Witches is fucking scary. And then, ironically, it has a happy ending. And the new Witches, Chris Rock does the voice of him as a grown-up mouse.
Okay.
And he's like... I'm Chris Rock. Like it's just I don't
takes
know.
You out of it.
It took me out of it way too much, and it was just like, why did you make this? What's the point of this? It just wasn't nearly as good. It sounded like someone just redid Rebecca for Netflix with Armie Hammer. I'm like, so you're gonna make a Hitchcock classic? That's like someone being like, oh, I'm gonna redo Twin Peaks, but make it more like normal.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck.
Yeah. Like fuck you. Stop it.
Well. That's how I feel about the other movie you wanted to talk about. Well, all right, let me do... So my Halloween kind of movies that were linked to one another that I checked in with, I, last night, did a 3-movie marathon. And I'm going to talk about the first 2. So I checked back in after so long with Army of Darkness after watching the first 2 Evil Deads.
The second Evil Dead is one of my favorite movies.
It's the best.
The second Evil Dead. It's almost like... I almost love that it's the exact same plot as the first Evil Dead. But
it is. It kind of disregards the first one.
Yeah, it's
Evil
like...
Dead 2
it's
kind
like
of pretends the first one
it's
never
like
happened.
a reboot. It's kind of like, this is what I want. If you're going to redo a movie, this is how you do it. You make it better.
Yeah. you make it better with more money, and you lean into comedy.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
And then, so Army of Darkness, that's where the effects of Army of Darkness kill me, because it's so obvious that, there's a lot of scenes with 2 Bruce Campbells. And I just love that it's so obvious that there's one real Bruce Campbell in front of a giant movie screen where they're projecting the other Bruce Campbell. Army of Darkness, the effects are so live actor interacting with giant screen behind them.
Yeah.
Making it look like it's in the same reality.
I will just add, I just recently, and my boyfriend was only watching PG Halloween movies. I mean, he was watching the other ones with me, but he watched Ghost. And, the effects of the green screen effects of when things were moving through him. You're like, oh, we came a long way.
Yeah.
I love how...
I mean, even,
I just think it's funny how, when we watch those types of movies, like Big Business and other ones, when we watched that stuff as a kid, we were like, wow! And now we're just fake.
Big Business, same thing, of, real Bette Midler interacting with Bette Midler on a screen behind her.
Yeah, Bette Midler with a big green halo around her.
Yeah. So it's just Army of Darkness is just so wonderful. Especially the journey of the effects from Evil Dead 1 to Army of Darkness it's hilarious.
I've actually never seen
worth
Army
watching.
of Darkness. I need to watch it.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely a comedy. Whereas Evil Dead tried to be scary, but you laugh at it because it's just so low budget.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2, it's scary, but it's funny
but
too.
At that time,
he's
he's just telling Bruce Campbell, fucking shoo the fucking scenery out of this shit.
Now, let me ask you, have you seen the remade Evil Dead by those people that remake, Elm Street and...
Oh, no. I didn't watch that new Elm Street one either. No, I won't watch that garbage.
The new Evil Dead is terrifying, and it's the grossest movie I've ever seen. I saw it in the theater.
Is it gory?
I closed my eyes for a good 25 minutes.
Oh, see, I don't like gory stuff.
It's so gory.
I just want booze. I like booze and scares.
Yeah.
That's why I like
This
The
is so boring.
Conjuring, like Insidious. It's all like, boo, a ghost. I don't want
Yeah.
one where it's like, oh, let's spend 10 minutes taking someone's eye out. Like, I don't need
Right.
that
Well,
shit.
that's what the new Evil Dead is.
No,
But
thank
the
you.
other movie I watched, the second movie in my marathon, so the first one was Army of Darkness. The second one was Dragging Me to Hell. I just kept the Sam Raimi train
That
going.
is such an amazing movie. That one's...
It is so good.
Have you seen
I
it before?
love it.
Have you seen it before?
Yeah, I had.
Oh,
I
okay.
had, of
That
course.
one is just perfection. It's also the ending of it is
Perfection.
so. It's like ironic, funny, perfect. I just fucking love it.
Yeah,
God, that
it's
movie's
so good.
good.
It's so good, and it's so funny that to think about Sam Raimi's career, that he essentially did Evil Dead 1 and 2, Army of Darkness, Spider-Man, maybe The Gift is in there somewhere, and then Drag Me to Hell.
I need to watch Boba Tep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know
Bruce
he
Campbell,
did that
that's
with
it.
Bruce Campbell. Did he
Yeah.
do the Evil Dead TV show? Or did he just produce
Ash
it?
versus the Evil Dead. I think he might have produced it and did one the first episode or something.
My friend hooked up with one of the stars, the hot Latino guy.
Oh, he is so. His body is no joke.
You know what's crazy though? He acts pretty normal. He is the queeniest queen. Like I knew him before the show. He's like, "Hey girl, what's up?" Ooh! And then I saw him on that show. I'm like, "What?
Oh, that's acting.
Who is this?"
Drag Me to Hell is fantastic and so funny, but all of this is to say, I'm so excited that Sam Raimi is doing Doctor Strange 2, and I'm so excited that Spider-Man 3 is bringing maybe Tobey Maguire into the MCU. I just hope, and that Doctor Strange is going to be in Spider-Man 3. I hope that somehow Tobey gets to be directed by Sam Raimi as Spider-Man again in Doctor Strange 2. I just hope.
Get your body together, Toby, because you know that
Yeah.
that was a formative moment in my life.
Yeah, I mean, that's up there with Ryan Phillippe's butt shot from Cruel Intentions.
Yeah.
In terms of,
Ugh.
yeah.
Don't get me
Yeah.
started on Ryan Phillippe. I watched a year of One Life to of All My Children. No, was it One Life to Live? Of
see
One
him
Life to
kiss.
Live, because he was a gay teenager, to wait for him
Yep.
to kiss, and then it never happened.
I follow him on Instagram. I highly recommend
I
it.
heard he just dissed Ellen.
He did.
I love him.
He did. I love
Did he
him.
cheat on Reese Witherspoon? Is that why they broke up?
Maybe, probably.
But I mean, come on. Women are
He's a
probably
man,
throwing. I mean, look
so-
at him. Of course, women are going to be
Look at
throwing
him.
himself.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's the sexiest thing on the fucking planet.
I saw another thing that was sort of like a remake, kind of a revisit.
Yeah.
I finally watched Doctor Sleep. It's a Flanagan.
Yeah, I've
'cause
seen
watched,
it. I saw it.
I watched the house, because the Haunting of Hill House, Bly. I can't remember the title of that. The Haunting of Mansion Bly.
Bly Manor. It's Bly Manor.
I always get it wrong.
My God.
I'm like my grandmother, where I'm like, oh, that King Bensley in that Gandhi movie. Like, I just can't get these right. Anyway, I saw Doctor Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining.
Yeah.
And here's what I thought. If you want to make something scary, don't hire a pretty Irish woman dressed like a 90s Hot Topic fashion victim.
Oh,
With
you
a
mean
top
Lilith
hat.
Fair, the supervillain?
Yeah, that was...
She was terrible.
It was so mind-bendingly, unfrighteningly stupid. Do you know who's a lot more scary? Is the girl from The Babysitter 2, the bad guy in Babysitter 2. She was the pusher girl.
Yeah.
She was way more scary, just as like a 15-year-old girl who can like tell people what to do. Like, that was more scary than this girl with a fucking top hat. Make her look like the fucking Babadook. Get like Frances Conroy or someone scary
hated the
looking.
villain.
The
I hated
villain
her.
was so fucking stupid. That being
Do you know
said,
what else? Yeah.
Ewan McGregor is always great. And I
love
actually
him.
felt the plot was really good, but it was shot like it was a television show. And I honestly felt this would have been a better TV show.
Yeah.
And it didn't get, I felt the look of it didn't click until they actually went back to the Outlook. Other than that, it looked like it was like an ABC or CBS TV show.
Well, that was the part I hate. Like, I was like lukewarm about the movie. It had a villain problem. Like, overall, I was like, this is okay. This is the Shining universe. Cool. when they went back to the hotel at the end, it felt so tacked on. Like, it felt like they did that because they had to.
Yeah.
And then it felt like they treated the spirits from the first movie like they were Scooby-Doo monsters.
Yeah.
And I hated it so much.
But that's the first time where I felt the look of the show actually felt like a scary movie.
Well, because it's something to borrow from.
Yes, exactly. It was just... But I found the concept of it fascinating. And I actually...
That someone else, a little girl, has the Shining.
I wasn't bored. Like, I was like, oh, this is all interesting, but it just looked stupid.
Okay, now can we talk about the best part of the movie?
What?
The actress who played Shelley Duvall's impression of Shelley Duvall.
That was kind of...
So good to me.
I thought it was kind of amazing. Because I was like, oh, she's Shelley Duvall, but then she would be like, hi! And I was like, oh my God, that's her voice.
Yeah, it was weird to have different actors play the characters from the first Shining. Like, at the end, you do have somebody appear as Jack Torrance, as Jack Nicholson, but it's a different actor.
Yeah.
It was odd. It was weird. But again, the ending was so like, zoinks, it's the twins, run! Like, so bad.
But then you have this where it's not scary, and then they tacked on in the middle, oh, let's have the little kid from the room just be brutally tortured and murdered.
Oh, right.
For a really long time.
Yeah, not good.
By a Hot Topic 90s fashion victim.
Yeah.
In a top hat. Like, what?
Not good.
It drove me crazy. Anyway.
I have one more from Halloween that I watched last night, my third movie in my marathon. Have you ever seen Creep or Creep 2 on Netflix?
No.
Okay. I urge you to perhaps watch Creep 2. So, like Evil Dead 1,
will I be able to
Evil
follow
Dead
it
2,
if I haven't seen Creep 1?
Like Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2, they're kind of not. Well, they are like sequel, but
like a redo.
Creep 2 is like
a redo?
It's like kind of, sorta, a little. I've never seen Creep.
When were they made?
Creep 2. Creep is from like a few years ago. They're both the brainchild of Mark Duplass.
Oh.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of...
Comedic actor.
I'm not
Why
a
don't
fan
you
of
like
the
him?
mumblecore shit he usually does.
Yeah, so this is a huge 180 from the shit he usually does, which is why it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
So he plays... all right, so let me just set it up. So Creep 2, if you've seen the first one, you already know that Mark Duplass's character is a serial killer.
Is a creep.
If it
Is TLC's
it
creep used at any point in the movie?
No, and that's the biggest loss. So the reveal of the first one is that he's a serial killer. Both movies are found footage format, but here is the plot of the second one. The second one focuses on a woman named Erin who does a YouTube show called Encounters, where she answers personal ads and does a YouTube show about these people who put personal ads out, like, just want someone to come over and hold me like they're my mother. Those kind of people.
Okay.
Just want somebody to talk to. So why did you write that ad? Because I'm lonely, I just want someone to talk to. Okay. So she answers an ad from Mark Duplass's character from the first movie. The whole movie is just Mark Duplass's character, who I think his name is Aaron, and Joseph.
I was going to say they're both named Aaron.
Yeah, no, it's Joseph and Aaron. And Aaron, the girl who answers the ad, it's just the two of them. And he's like, I brought you over to make a documentary about me. I am a serial killer, and I want to tell you my story. So it's just the two of them at his place, her filming him for 24 hours, and it's fantastic.
Oh.
It's not... So the first one is true horror. Evidently the first one's true horror. I never saw it. The second one is more like fucked up romance, kind of like just a fucked up romance.
Wait, they end up liking each other?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Women.
And it's just the two of them the whole movie. Her whole thing.
He's a serial killer, but he's like super cute and he's like super sweet and he like.
No,
really
it's not that.
understands
It's not
me.
that. It's not that. It's that she thinks that all she wants to do is create art, and she thinks she's a failure because she will never like commit to situations. Like she thinks only 9 people watch her YouTube show because it sucks, and she's like, and the reason my show sucks is because I'm afraid to go there. I'm afraid to like dive deep. And so she promises herself she's going to dive deep. She's going to say yes to no matter what.
All right.
She's not going to put a stop to it, no matter what it is. And it's fascinating.
That does sound interesting.
And he's really good in it. His performance is fucking, it's chilling and hilarious. So.
Well, I'm sure it's not as good as the last show I want to talk about.
What?
It's currently airing in Japan. It is a gay supernatural sitcom.
What is it?
It's called Cherry Magic. Now, why do you think it's called Cherry?
Oh God, is it vaginal?
It's virginal. It's gay guys.
Same
it's about
thing.
gay guys.
Oh,
It's not. Why would it be
gay guys.
about
Oh, that's right.
vaginal?
Oh, right. I forgot you said.
No, this takes place in a world where apparently, if you do not have any type of sex before the age of 30, you become telepathic.
Get out of here.
No. And so there's this super introverted, super cute boy. Not boy. He's turning 30. And he works like at an office, and you just kind of like see his life where he's just like, I'm too shy to talk to anyone. And everyone's like, you need to date. Have you never dated anyone? Like, what's going on? And he has like one friend in the office is like, I bet you're a virgin. He's like, ooh. And then he's like, go talk to this girl. And then in his head, he's like, I don't want to talk to her. I want to talk to him. And then, of course, there's like the jock of the office, like the number one salesman, this like super hot guy that he's like in love with. And of course, his birthday comes, he turns 30, he gets in the elevator, and then the guy that he's in love with comes next to him. The elevator gets so packed that he comes close, touches him, and as soon as he touches him, he starts hearing this guy's thoughts. And the guy's like, oh my God, he's close to me. I've never been... And he realizes the guy he likes him. But at first, so in the beginning, he's like, this is just, I'm going insane. Like, he doesn't believe it's real. So then he's like trying to prove that he can hear people's thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Just making sure, he's not delusional.
And then once he does, the more closer he gets to the other guy, and strangely, of course, because it's Japan, the more he realizes that the guy likes him, the more freaked out and scared he becomes. Yeah. Like, he's a total pussy. He can't handle it. So it's basically...
emotions.
So it's basically just this sweet romance with this, like, telepathic kid who knows that this person's in love with him, but he's too scared to do anything about it. And it's just so cute. It's so cute. Anyway.
Oh, where could one find this? On YouTube?
No, because Japan always takes things from YouTube down. So just Google Cherry Magic Japan Gay, and you will find it. And you will come to there's a site where someone is translating it. Someone's doing the English subtitles.
Oh, nice, good.
Because everywhere else you find it that's legitimate, it's not in English. Anyway, it's great. It's super cute and romantic. And that's it.
I love it.
That's it.
And that's our transition out of spooky season into the holiday season. Let's start embracing romance.
Dun, dun, dun. Or I thought Thanksgiving's coming and family. Because you probably can't see them.
Yeah, don't watch family movies, otherwise you get very sad about how we cannot see our families this year. Okay, that's going to be our show on that note. EvilJeff, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you
this
so
week.
much for having me on the
We
show.
hope to have you back. We hope to have you back sometime soon.
I don't think so. My schedule's very busy.
I understand. Both our listeners will be very upset.
All right. Well, thank you all. And if you listen to us, we want more than 2 listeners. So please tell your friends. Please share us. Please talk about us. Please follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Rate us. Give us big ratings. Leave a comment. Ask us questions. We have nothing else to do. We'll respond back. We'll say your Twitter handle on the show. Hey, if you leave us a voice message, I'll play your voice if I think it's sexy.
We'll dox the fuck out of you.
Yeah,
if
fuck
you. Like
you.
us. All right.
And
thank you so much.
And if you read comics, of course.
Of course.
Well, that makes you what, Brett?
Queer. Bye.
Bye.